When the bad guys first dropped back in 2022, it honestly felt like DreamWorks had clocked exactly where animation was heading. Everyone was still buzzing from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which had basically ripped the rulebook to shreds a few years earlier. It ditched that overly shiny, hyper-real Pixar look and went for something bold, scrappy, and full of style, like a comic book had just come to life. And suddenly, every studio wanted a piece of that. The Bad Guys was one of the first out the gate to actually nail it, but it was not easy. Director Pierre Perifel has said before that the tech wanted everything looking photoreal, and he had to pretty much wrestle the computer into behaving. Now we are in 2025 with The Bad Guys 2, and when I caught up with Perifel, the first thing I wanted to know was if the fight is any easier now. And apparently, yes, a fair bit. Not because the computers suddenly love being artsy, but because DreamWorks has been leaning into this style for years now. Films like Puss in Boots, The Last Wish and The Wild Robot have built on that groundwork, so the artists are just way more comfortable with it. When you watch this sequel, the style feels sharper, more confident, and very much part of the same world. This time, they also teamed up with Sony Pictures Imageworks, who handled about 20 minutes of the film. Now that could have been messy because two studios matching styles is not always smooth sailing, but Sony knows its way around stylized animation, so they picked it up quickly. Peripheral and co-director JP Sands did not want to reinvent the wheel here, but they did tweak it. The backgrounds are more painterly, the characters have a bit more chunk to them, and he literally said they inflated them. There is also more of that 2D layered into the effects. Explosions, smoke, water, all with that hand-drawn texture over the top. It is not in your face, but it gives the film a bit more pop. One thing that is proper cool is the anamorphic lens effect. Now, you do not need an anamorphic lens for animation, because it is all digital, but they have coded in those quirks you get with real lenses. So you get that barrel distortion, the light flares, the way the edges curve, just slightly. Your brain reads it as cinema without you even thinking about it. It is a subtle flex, but it makes the whole thing feel big screen epic. And yes, they have definitely dialed up the live action influence this time. The first film had that slick Ocean's 11 vibe with a bit of Snatch and The Italian Job. This one is leaning more into Bond and Mission Impossible with a sprinkle of Gravity and Interstellar for that wide, grand, almost space opera feel. You can see it in the chases, the stunts, the way the camera moves. It is pure action film swagger, but in animation form. End of the day, The Bad Guys 2 is not just rehashing the first, it is refining it. It is slicker, bolder, and more assured without losing what made the original click. And in a world where loads of studios are still trying to chase that Spider-Verse magic, it is nice to see DreamWorks not just keeping pace, but carving their own lane.